Good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of Conscious Dating Online with Francis Mahan. I am your host. Today, our conversation will be about sex. Although this topic is about dating online, sex is still part of our human nature. And I cannot debate enough with millions of scientists and professionals in the psychology area of human behavior about the fact of why do men or women behave the way they do today. To do that, I will have to go to 110 million singles in America and ask questions. It is my impression that it's not possible to acquire sufficient information and make a final conclusion or a judgment about men or women, their desire for sex, and what is going on. Perhaps we need to make an observation as to what is happening today in the current time as we begin to grow in a society that is changing day by day, hour by hour, minutes by minutes. I will have to say that since last week I referred to the fact that we women are responsible for the way that men are changing, perhaps it is true that we have a large impact on why men are behaving the way they do. And why is that? Well, think of this. If sex is easily available, why will men want to commit? And it comes as the fact that there are seven women for one man. Therefore, they have choices. And in those choices, women are making it readily available for men to have what they want. For example, going out on a first date and having a glass of wine, your place of mine, and having sex immediately, or on the second date, and not giving time for courtship or to know the person that you have just met. We should ask ourselves as women and even men, what if that person that you met was a pervert or she was not what you think she is? What if? How would you feel if you went all the way in with this individual and you found out later that you made a big mistake because you did not take your time to be able to know more about this person? Here is your hypothesis of why do we do things so quickly today, not take our time to get to know our partner, where they're coming from, what's in their mind, what are their needs and desire, what precisely are they looking for. What we're doing instead is, for example, why would you pay for coffee at Starbucks when they tell you that for 1 month you can have free coffee? If it is free, why pay for it? Why develop a need to be committed, to get intimate into a relationship that is leaning to love or commitment of other nature versus the instantaneous desire to satisfy our human nature, which is love is not finding sex. Sex is a need and it's a human need. And I understand that we all have a need and it has to be satisfied. But why not take your time? In these days with the pandemic, it is very, very dangerous to do that. Because my question is if I'm going to get involved with someone at a level of intimacy and not know enough about them, will they die for me? Or vice versa? Will I die for them? Because chances are that this could happen. You could die for someone that either gives you the virus or you give it to them. It can happen. The problem with sex is not so much that it's easily available, but that we have a need to satisfy that urge that is natural within our body, especially if you're healthy. If you're healthy, you will have sexual desire. I can tell you an example. When I was living in Houston, Texas, I used to run 6 miles 3 times a week. And I began to feel very healthy and sexual desire were coming up. I didn't have a partner at the time and I felt so awkward because I kept saying, why am I having these feelings and these desire, these emotions coming to me? Well, I was healthy and my body was speaking through me and my emotions and my desires to have sex. So it is normal. But perhaps in these days, we should be more careful about who we choose to have sex with because we are in a pandemic still, and we have to be careful. My point is that also, regardless of how much sex a man or a woman can have, there will always be a need for companionship, for intimacy, for love, for connection. Because the fact is that it gets old and it gets to be random, doing the same thing over and over and over again. As Einstein said, you cannot solve the problem with the same manner in which the problem started. Don't use the same psychology to solve a problem and continue to have the problem because nothing is going to change. Although men have a primal need as human beings to be satisfied, I believe that human nature is to fall in love at some point, to meet that special person that you have feelings, that you have a desire to be with, that you want to wake up next to and feel a sense of fulfillment and gratification to be with, not just wake up in the morning and say it's time to go. Kind of, I had enough because it become repetitious. One partner, the next, and the next. It is also my impression that if a man dating online is looking for that ideal partner, a unique woman or man, this person will not be so eager to want to have sex because you do not find a partner in sex. You find a partner in connection and companionship. We all have a need to connect with others. And if you do, your first attention or intention with that person will not be to have sex, but to get to know them, to get to understand who they are as a human being. Because the truth is, if you are only interested in sex, you are not looking for a partner. You're looking for a sexual empathy and desire fulfillment. Big difference. There is a big difference between trying to find a partner that you want to connect with at an intimate level for a lasting relationship and a partner that you want to have sex for the night and have a good time, both of which are normal and are okay. However, if with someone who is dating online emphasizes on the fact that they want to have a partner, that they're looking for this magnificent individual that they have imagined to be, they're not going to want to go in all the way the first time they meet. Because the most beautiful aspect of loving someone is the courtship, that connection that you develop with each other to get to know who you are, how you feel, what is it that you want, what is it that you're looking for, what satisfies you, what pleases you, what makes you happy, and what makes you unhappy as well. What are the things that you like and dislike about yourself and other people, life, everything? This discussion needs to take time. I've often wondered if our generation is making it so difficult for those of us who want something lasting and we know what we want versus the impression of an instant desire that needs to be satisfied regardless of the consequences. Human beings have a need for sex, and sex was something that we didn't talk about years ago. It was a taboo, but today can openly express ourselves and say, I don't want to be a booty call. I don't want to be a one night stand. I want to be someone that you wake up next to when you are happy with. And I don't want to be the focal point of a mind game, which is what a lot of people play online. You see so many things online that is discouraging and it is emotionally disrupting. It's almost as if you don't want to invest your intentions, your emotions, and your feelings into a relationship or meeting people online that do not have in mind the purpose that they describe they have in mind. It's very discouraging nowadays. I believe that some of the online dating system or sites need some restructuring. There is lack of honesty with people saying they want something and that's not what they want. Perhaps that should be a site for something that's very forward and another one that is a little bit more conservative and you have a choice which way do you want to go. We all have choices and we can choose what we want. I'm not condemning one or the other. I'm just saying honesty is important. It is okay to lie about your age. Everybody does it. But to put pictures that 10 years ago is not who you are, it's disappointing, it's discerning because you meet someone and they don't look the same way. They look totally different. And here you are, tell someone that, oh, I'm looking for a mate, a partner, someone I can establish a relationship with, and you are actually looking for a booty call or a one night stand, something to satisfy your desire. You have a choice. We all have choices. Say what you want. It is okay as long as this I allow you to do that. And some sites are very liberal nowadays. They allow no shirt, dog collars, insinuating sexual slavery, whatever that is, I don't know. One has to be careful and conscious about which side you're doing so that you don't get disrupted with your intentions and their intentions. And there is a collapse of emotion, behavior, and false expectations. You know, and vice versa. Women lie too. We lie about our age, and sometimes we don't look the same, and it is okay. But if the picture is recent, then you look the same. You haven't changed that much. Life is growth, and growth is change. And we are changing and growing at the speed of light. But regardless of how much we are changing, there will be a certain criteria some people require. There will be a certain amount of people that know precisely what is it that they're looking for. And they will not put up with today's demand. You don't have to. It's like this. Every young person out there is not doing what every other person is doing. Some have moral values and they restrain each other and they hold back and they decide this is not for me because in the end it's going to hurt you. Either you're going to get hurt or you're going to hurt somebody else. It is discerning, it is discouraging, and it is not good. They should have sites, dating sites for swingers, dating sites for people that do not want commitment, dating sites for people that want to find a partner and are honest about it and do not want to jump in bed with you the first or second time they meet you. Because you're not going to find your partner in the bedroom. That will wear off. And when it does, sex will no longer be good. It will be boring. And you will be seeking and searching for something else, which is love, compassion, kindness, and connection with somebody that you can communicate at a spiritual level, not just the physical facade of a desire of sexual satisfaction. It's been a pleasure, as usual, to be here with you. and talk about sex and the desires that men or women have and how fast we're moving in this new era in our society, how fast things are changing, how a bottle of wine in your room or mine is the latest thing that people do in need of companionship. And it's okay. We have choices. But make the right decision, make the right choice because there is somebody out there for you, for me, or for anyone. And if dating site is not for you, stay away from it. Not everything you see is what is. Reality is not what we think it is. It's deeper than we know. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. This is Francis Mayhem from Conscious Dating. Goodbye. Love and light. À tout à l'heure. I'll see you later. Au revoir.